DENİZ is a not-for-profit organization based in Boston, Massachusetts. We have formed it towards the end of 2003, and since then we have been producing a number of concerts that have a focus in Turkish music, but we also include a lot of different world traditions in our concert productions. Wisdom and Turkish Humor was one of the larger productions we have managed to put together. In this production, we have had the pleasure of working with Mavi Dance Company and Pals Children's Chorus. The actual concert production had only very few rehearsals. We were very surprised that we were able to pull off this concert with only 2 rehearsals with Mavi Dance, and we were very happy that the resulting concert production was great.
Wisdom, humor, Sufism, or Islamic mysticism. How do these go together, and why make a program about them? As Mehmet and I were talking about this early on in the project, we fastened on the idea that the largest concept among these 3 is actually the wisdom idea. And within that, humor also fits, because within the Turkish tradition, like so many traditions, lots of times humor is the best way to convey these kinds of things. And this is what happens in all 3 of these segments of this program.
The musical concept of Wisdom and Turkish Humor program extends from traditional Turkish music to original music that is influenced by Turkish music. The first section, that's based on Karagöz and Hacivat, Shadow Puppet Theater, is actually song after song that's taken from the city of Istanbul, and they're traditional Turkish songs that are actually incorporated in the Shadow Puppet Theater. What we have done was to take them and arrange them slightly, very, very slightly, for our setup. And you will see in the first section that there's a lot of room left for improvisation, because we have tried to maintain the actual traditional scheme of the Shadow Puppet Theater as much as possible, and since we did not use any compositional procedures, there's a lot of room left for improvisation.
What is happening in the shadow play? The shadow play is trying to, in many ways, solve a problem. It's saying, here we are in the huge city of Istanbul at the turn of the 20th century. Crowding into this city are so many different kinds of people coming from all over the Ottoman Empire and the rest of Europe. And they're all living together. And they all find each other ridiculous. And they all marry each other and pass each other on the street and flirt with each other. And that is what Karagöz is all about. Is lampooning everyone see this, everybody enjoying each other, even at the same time as they maybe experience each other as being alien.
In the second section, that is based on Nasreddin Hoca, you will see that we have almost used the idea of not dance, but using almost like a silent movie. The music actually accompanies and tries to help the little theatrical play that's going on, and that's actually informative in a way. And so in one sense of the word, it is a bit like film music, and that's where our compositional procedures started taking play too. There's less of improvisation in section 2 compared to section 1, and there's more of composition that helps to glue those pieces together.
In the second section, we have a hoja, a religious teacher. And what does he do? He's characterized as being the guy who always rides into town on a donkey backwards. This is clearly saying something about religious authority, about what it means to find the right way. And it's Hoja who helps the villagers come to terms with the problem of power. They have one of the great despots of all time, Tamerlane, who they have to deal with about a very silly problem of elephants in their town. How's that for a problem? And of course, Nasreddin Hoca, with his sense of the absurd, helps them to solve that problem, and at least to come up with a solution, funny as it is, which the audience can participate in.
The final section of the program, which is based on the character of Keloğlan, is completely original music, and there's only one large improvisational section that's in the middle of the entire composition that is actually done by myself on the lute. And other than that, the entire piece is very carefully composed. Every single harmony and note is thought of very carefully, and therefore it doesn't leave any room for personal interpretation, really. And that's what the desired effect was. As we moved from city, town to village, as an interesting, diverse concept here, you move from less composed to more composed.
The third section, about Keloğlan, the bald boy, a boy of good heart, of very simple breeding, and no riches at all in the world. He applies the folk wisdom that enables him to use his good heart to help someone who has really been a kind of prodigal son, who has really messed up big time, and through the simplicity and straightforward good nature of this boy, that problem is rectified. In the end, what have we got with this program? We've got a sense of people finding their way in the world through very direct, very non-abstract kind of wisdom, always couched with humor and a little bit of absurdity to allow us to understand these principles a little better.